from Cool Boys Central.
You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
Hold your dicks and rub your tits.
You'll be ice cold.
Here come the Cool Boys.
Just a young boy.
So cool.
So cool. So cool.
I see Cool Boy.
Greetings, Schoolboy Nation, and welcome to an impossible installment of the Cool Boys podcast. Woo! This is not a podcast difficult, Ballard. This is a podcast impossible.
Wow.
The list is in the open. That's how he says it, right?
Yep.
The list is in the open!
I'm Ilsa Faust Felk. Okay.
And then the first day of shooting, Tom, what did we do?
We jumped off a building.
Yeah. And then we jump off, and he just looks at me in the Tom Cruise kind of way, and he goes, "Welcome to mission."
You said it to all of us. I remember my special day too.
And I'm Benji Dunn Ballard. So cool.
Whew. That was not easy, but I did it.
Cool Boy Nation. Our third HIV-infected cool boy, Ethan Hunt Nolan. Wait, that doesn't even work.
No, it doesn't. But he was finally gonna get a super cool name, and he didn't show up for it.
Cool story.
Because Nolan didn't see the movie.
This episode, we will be discussing the Mission Impossible franchise, so we will forgo our most popular and current segment, Cool Boy Updates, and get right into Mission Impossible Fallout Vegas and all the fabulous boners it has given us. That was a reference to the video game franchise.
Video game, yes.
But first, it's News Cruise for some cruise news time. We're going on a news cruise.
Snip, snip, buzz.
Oh, much better.
With some cruise news.
What? All right. Hey, Felk. Well, you have a little link here for us to click on. Go ahead and click on this link. It is from Vulture, and it is 22 unsettling nice Tom Cruise stories. And I figured, let's wet our Tom Cruise whistle with a unofficial Top Buns episode and look at some stuff that Tom Cruise did that we could not believe or are unsettling.
In order to do my job, I have to ask myself, who is Tom Cruise? What is Tom Cruise? Why is Tom Cruise? When is Tom Cruise?
Did you know he taught Zac Efron how to ride a motorcycle?
Yes, he mentioned it on a episode of Graham Norton, which I watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's actually my favorite late night guy because even though he's British, Graham Norton, he's fun. He gets the guests drunk, and he doesn't just pander to politics the way American hosts do. It's pretty apolitical, and it's just like entertainment and fun. It's a fun show.
Yeah, I love Graham Norton.
But Zach and Tom were on there, and they were basically like comparing like being badasses to each other. And
What were they on
tough
for?
to do.
What movie?
They were on for different movies
Oh, cool.
because he does
nice.
that. He puts people on different things.
I know. He brings on he'll usually bring on like 3 different things. Like he'll have someone from like a British show, and then like American actors from a film franchise, or American actors from 2 separate films, along with like a British comedian. Usually. Yeah, I love Graham Norton.
What's next?
Felk, did you know he helped Mummy co-star Jake Johnson get in shape?
No, I don't give a shit about Jake Johnson.
Very cool. All right, well, the next one is that he stayed in touch with the kid who dropped out of Jerry Maguire. Aww. Before Jonathan Lipnicki, there was another kid set to steal the show on the Jerry Maguire set. He spent a few weeks filming, but after a certain point, he ran out of gas. That's what Cameron Crowe said to Deadline. He wanted to leave the production, so the role was recast with Lipnicki. And, of course, Lipnicki says some of the best shit ever, especially when he wants to go to the zoo.
Let's go to the zoo.
Ray, the zoo, you know, fucking zoo's closed, right?
Yeah, like he gives like all those little facts. Like, you know, a human head weighs 8 pounds.
A human head weighs 8 pounds.
Do you know a human vagina can take 37 pounds of pressure before it tears.
Yes, I loved that part. That was my favorite part of the movie. When they were at the gynecologist, and for some reason they brought the little kid with them. I didn't understand it.
He got ripped, by the way. You know, Jonathan Lipnick. He's
Oh
like,
yeah, everyone knows this.
Okay.
Everyone knows this. Everyone from 2006.
All right, I'm sorry.
That.
It's not a Jonathan Lipnicki news cruise, is it?
No, it is not.
It's a Tom.
The next one is
All right.
he gave Kanye West advice on his fledgling comedy career, but declined a role in Kanye's HBO pilot. I didn't know Kanye had a fucking fledgling comedy career.
I think his entire persona is like a comic character.
The next thing is that Tom, he's a good sport on set. Did you know that?
Yes.
Wow, how unsettling is that? How unsettling is that, Fel? He's a good sport on set. Tom also convinced the Black Eyed Peas to do a song for Night and Day.
I never saw that movie.
He's self-described as a big fan of the Peas. The next Tom thing that's so unsettling is he totally did not get mad at Cuba Gooding Jr.'s dad when he asked about his sexuality. Tom Cruise, he gave Kevin Pollak a $500 pen and then a second pen. Wow, that's unsettling.
I think Kevin Pollak has probably sold that pen by now.
I hope so. Tom Cruise personally arranged for Bill Hader to leave a set and get home to New York after an attempted bombing in Times Square.
Which
Wow.
he set up just so he could be that nice to Bill Hader.
So that's what? They're connected through Tropic Thunder, right?
I have no fucking clue. Was he in Tropic
I think
Thunder?
Bill Hader was his assistant, his executive assistant, his EA. Tom, he rescued a family from their burning sailboat. That's badass. That's like fucking Harrison Ford level badass right there. Like Harrison Ford was saving people with his helicopter, like hikers stranded in Montana. Tom, he helped rescue a victim of a hit and run and paid her medical bills. Sounds like you may have hit her and then ran off, Tom, allegedly.
Probably. That is like the Scientology thing that like you don't have to admit guilt, but you have to take responsibility for it. So if you wrong someone, you have to write it, but you don't have to ever like let them know that you were the one who wronged them. That is an actual thing in like their core
Not
tenets.
bad, not bad. Tom saved a pair of his littlest fans during a crowded red carpet. A 7-year-old and a 13-year-old almost got trampled at the West End premiere of Mission Impossible. And Tom saved them. That's unsettling. He never forgets Dakota Fannings's birthday. That's odd. That's a little
That's a little creepy. That is a little creepy.
I guess she's 18.
She's definitely 18. Elle Fanning's 18. So Dakota's got to be
like, what, 21 or something?
What? She's got to be up there.
Yeah, she's got to be up there, at least her 40s.
It is sad that she got replaced with a different Fanning by Hollywood. They're just like, we need a new Fanning. You're no good no more.
Tom, he bought his publicist's daughter so many wedding gifts. So many. Tom, he sends Kirsten Dunst and Jimmy Kimmel a cake every year. Not necessarily for their birthdays. That's kind of odd. Tom, he gifted his lawyer a rare book of English history. Cool. Tom has maintained a friendship with Billy Wilder in his director's last years. Tom, he got Cameron Crowe back into directing. Tom released Jessica Chastain from her Oblivion contract so she could star in Zero Dark 30. Tom always takes his kids' calls, even in the middle of a scene. Tom bought W. Earl Brown, Elton John, Billy Joel tickets after rehearsal ran late. Whatever. He danced to Young Jock on BET. And that's it. Great. Wow, so unsettling. Well, let's get into the fucking shit. We're really here.
So someone tunes in for a Mission Impossible 6 spoiler cast, and they get to hear about
22 unsettling nice Tom Cruise
22
stories.
things Tom Cruise has done.
All right, spoilers from here on out for Mission Impossible Fallout.
And the prior 5 Mission Impossible movies.
It's time for
Spoilers. Spoiler.
So, quick cool boy rating of the past films in the Mission Impossible franchise. All right, Felk, real quick, Mission Impossible, the first one. What do you give it?
3.5 boys out of 5 boys.
This was one of those movie experiences where everything clicked and gelled in the audience, and that vault sequence was absolutely just so tense, so suspenseful. Seeing it a second time, it loses all of that. But it was that first time, it was something to behold. A lot like the way Lost World had the Julianne Moore's character on the glass of the RV hanging off the cliff. and it's breaking under her fingers as she's moving ever so slightly. That kind of level of tension, I definitely got that from this scene in Mission Impossible.
How many boys?
For God's sake, just give me the damn number!
4 out of 5 boys.
Okay.
And that's only because the TGV scene, the Très Grand V, very quick and fast. The train sequence at the end.
Fourth time you said that on this
channel.
podcast.
The channel is amazing. The helicopter, the train, all in the channel.
Everybody out of the channel!
My 3 out of 5 is because when I saw it when I was, I don't know, like 13 or 14, I guess, I could not follow it. It was a very confusing plot that does not give you enough to fully understand why Tom is doing things. You know that he wants to do things, but you don't know why.
Yes, I remember that, Felk. Very few movies as a child I remember like seeing them and going like, wow, that was hard to follow. That Mission Impossible was absolutely one of them.
That was the first. That was the first time I was in a blockbuster movie,
Yeah.
and it was just like, what's going on here?
I needed like 3 viewings to really understand Max.
Or is it Maxine?
I don't have to tell you what a comfort anonymity can be in my profession. It's like a warm blanket.
All right, moving on, because there's 6 of these.
Yeah, Mission Impossible 2, fucking love this movie. It's 5 out of 5 because it started Tom Cruise's love for stunts, like legit stunts.
He actually did like jumps and dangerous shit in I think the first movie, I may be wrong, was The Firm that he did dangerous stunts in. He was
not
suicidal.
Really, no, not hanging on cliff sides with like, you know, one catch wire.
No, he
and
got
a
suicidal
net
in that
behind
movie.
You.
That's
Yeah,
he
and
was
he's, like-
divorcing Nicole Kidman.
And he had himself, that's great, that's why.
No.
Because he had himself pulled on cables to be slammed into, or maybe it was 2 stunt guys, just slammed into each other from 2 motorcycles running at each other.
I'm sorry, this is a crazy thought. I just got this idea, but what if when Tom jumps off of the bike and when they're both coming at each other, if right before, and this is just something just flew in my head here, if he turns the camera and goes, this mission, it just got a hell of a lot more impossibler. Boom. Then you do the hit.
Mission Impossible 2, I will give it 2 boys because it is a mess of a movie. It is a John Woo movie first. There was the whole scene where he first meets Thandie Newton there is weird slow-mo as they eye each other from across the fucking weird party. There's transitions of like a red Spanish dancer that like is screen wipes. It's so fucking tacky, so fucking like over the top. The movie is
John
a cartoon.
Woo westernized.
It's barely West. It's just straight John Woo. It is, and it bears, other than the use of masks, there is no resemblance to the first film. Think about this.
I love his hair's longer.
In the first Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise's character, Ethan Cunt, never fires a gun. He points a gun a couple of times, but he never even fires a single shot in that movie. In Mission Impossible 2, he is dual firing pistols while diving through the air and shooting pistols while like turning around on motorcycles. It's like these movies don't exist in the same universe.
I love it. I love we have the exact same points, but I just see so much 5 out of 5 boys in it, and you just see only 2 out of 5 boys in the exact same thing.
That final fight, it's not even the final fight, but there's a part where he's escaping from the villain, and a villain henchman pulls a gun on him. Tom Cruise is running at him. He does a slow-mo backflip, kicks the gun out of his hand, and lands. And like I think that was just Tom Cruise is like, I can do a backflip.
It was improv that day for sure.
Yeah.
The mission took him. It's where the mission took him, Felk. Felk, I love how the motorcycle and the motorcycle chase at the end. By the way, the motorcycle chase at the end is a great chase sequence. But I love the motorcycle chase at the end. Tom's motorcycle changes from street tires to dirt bike tires once he gets on the sand. I love it. It's amazing. And I'm pretty sure that's continuity. That's not a continuity error. That's on purpose. That was his mission bike.
Now I know why you want to hate me.
Yeah, and also Mission Impossible 2 has Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit.
It is Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit.
And Hans Zimmer does the score, but there is a particular track. I don't know if it's actually Hans or not, but where Tithandi Newton is stealing that shit out of the bathtub, and she keeps like getting on top and then underneath Tom in like these like awkward situations. It's like porn music.
Do you mind if I'm on top?
Either way works for me.
Listen to that music again. It's like Boogie Nights level, like 70s porn music. I swear to God.
Mission Impossible 3. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a surprise here. Stellar villain, fun plot, TV movie too much. 3 out of 5 boys. I couldn't believe I was watching Tom Cruise in a TV movie.
Okay, that's because believe it or not, this guy J.J. Abrams.
What?
His name was.
You mean Jeffrey Abrams?
J.J. Abrams.
He's going by J.J.
I believe.
JJ.
I believe it's not J.J. Abrams.
JJ, are you going to go home from school? Are you going to go to swim class, JJ?
Yes. Everyone who listened to our episode with Corey will immediately know, like, oh man, we're doing a deep Cool Boys cut. I love those. Roll the tape, Johnny.
Yes, Johnny.
Jeffrey Abrams sounds way more like an adult professional filmmaker than J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams seems like somebody who needs to be like picked up from daycare. Did you get J.J. yet?
Get my son J.J.
He should not have. Yeah, J.J. He should have kept that.
J.J., did you have a good school day?
Oh, Cool Boy Nation. Pardon the interruption. This is the Noli Syndicate trying to break into the Cool Boys. So grab your Nautilus disc and hold on to your Chimera, because I'm coming to shove a rabbit's foot right up your fucking Russian ass. The Noli Syndicate is hacked in. He's hacked into your mainframes and all your hardwires and all your firmwares and all your hard drives.
Well, you can contribute to this part. We're in the middle of rating the prior films in the franchise.
You haven't got your ratings yet?
No, we just did 1 and 2, and now we're on 3. So if you want to give us a quick Cool Boy gay rating for Mission Impossible and Mission Impossible 2.
Okay. Mission Impossible 1.
5 out of 5 Cool Boys.
I said 4 out of 5.
I said 3.5.
Mission Impossible 2. 5 out of 5 Cool Boys, possibly 6 out of 5 Cool Boys.
I said 5 out of 5 Cool Boys.
I said 2 because I think it's way too John Wooey.
That's why I love it. Mission Impossible 3. 4 out of 5 Cool Boys.
I said 3 out of 5 boys.
I will give Mission Impossible 4 out of 5 Cool Boys. It is JJ still directing like it's TV, but
wait, 3, 4? What?
I'd give Mission Impossible 4 out of 5 Cool Boys.
4.
Because even though JJ is still transitioning from TV and he just directs it like it's an episode of Alias, that set the precedent. And now the next 4 Mission Impossibles are consistent in style and tone. No random slow-mo and doves, no weird dress transitions.
That's true. Wait, you got Bad Robot. That's what you got.
No more cars locked together, just spinning out of control while you
Cars don't do that.
Stare. Yeah. They do when you stare and you're Tom Cruise. When you're Thandie Newton and you're Tom Cruise and you stare at each other, that's what happens to cars.
So Felk just listed all these reasons why he hates Mission Impossible 2, and the entire time I was like, yes, yeah, no, but that's the reason I love it. Like, that's everything. Yeah. Like, the dual pistols, fucking the slow-mo, the kicking pistols out of guys' hands.
The fact it's not a sequel to Mission Impossible.
All of it.
It's its
the
own
long
thing.
hair, the stunts. The bikes.
See, what I did like at first was how Mission Impossible is the first 3, actually the first 4, they are all changing styles. Then the 5th one kind of came along, and it's like the 4th one. So now they've locked into their style. I kind of appreciated at first how they were changing like tones every movie.
No, the 3rd 1 to 6 are pretty much one franchise. And the first 2 are like weird, bizarre, director-centric entries.
I don't see it that way, and I don't want to get into any spoilers because we're not at Fallout yet, but I would say that the 3rd one is a weird tangent that like a TV movie, like a special, like a Christmas special, and then I would say the 4th one is a prologue to a trilogy set up by Rogue Nation and Fallout, and whatever this 7th one will be.
I just mean in tone and general directorial style.
Yeah, the 3rd one I think is a really fun movie to watch. It actually has like no plot. Like you don't even know what the rabbit's foot is. Like Tom Cruise is like, who is Kerry Russell? He just like has to go in and rescue her. Then the movie just sets in it's like a huge fucking chase scene, and like has like no finale really. It's a weird movie, but it's highly watchable, very enjoyable.
It also has a weird laugh break in the when he's leaving the hospital and it's playing like whatever that like R&B like golden oldie song, and he's like sprinting across traffic.
Security channel's jammed.
Hunt must be holding down the transmit button.
You've got to be kidding me.
Three, the reason I think I give it that extra half boy, bring it up to 4, is you see Tom, I believe he runs a mile in real time in the end of that movie.
Yes, and you know how fast he gets?
Really fast, probably.
17 miles per hour. They clocked him at 17 miles per hour.
That's
now,
as fast as a raptor.
People
Almost
can
fast
run
as a T-Rex.
23 miles per hour. I think some people have been clocked at 28 miles per hour. But 17 miles per hour for, you know, a 50-year-old man, like, that's pretty impressive.
Whose stride is about a foot.
We clocked the Tom Cruise at 17 miles an hour. Say that again.
You have a Tom Cruise?
You have a Tom Cruise?
You have a Tom Cruise? All right, so for Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, I give this 5 out of 5 boys. I saw this IMAX. It blew my fucking mind. Everything in Abu Dhabi was incredible in IMAX. And I love that we got real fucking stunts. I remember seeing him running on the fucking Burj in paparazzi photos, and then I got to see it and fucking on screen, and it was amazing.
You've seen the photo of him like on the actual top. It's not even in the movie. Just like he went to the top of the Needle with a helicopter, just got on the top and had him take a photo just for fun, just to be Tom.
Funsies.
Just
so
to be
5
Tom.
out of 5 boys for me.
For me, it's a 4.5 because after Burj, the movie's worthless.
I love the red fucking sand, fucking dust storm chase. That's awesome.
Okay, right after that, right when they go to India or whatever it is, and there's like the fucking finale in a car parking lot. Like, what the fuck is that?
I did not mind the garage parking.
I thought that was dumb. Everything up. There's the memorable thing at the Kremlin with the iPad, and then there's the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, the
And
first half is
everything
amazing.
else is completely unmemorable. I do not remember the plot. I don't remember the villain.
Dude, the plot's like a Russian guy, a Russian agent steals a nuke or something, and who knows?
That's also the one that introduces Alec Baldwin, I think, and I was like, I don't like him.
Yeah, you hate Alec Baldwin.
Baldwin residence. No, this is Billy Baldwin. If you want Daniel Baldwin, call his extension. Stupid! Hey, Alec, do you know what sucks about being a Baldwin? No, what? Nothing! Yeah! You missed me!
So I have one issue with this movie. One.
5 or 6?
Out of 4. Out of a Ghost Protocol. It's just simply they show the nuke landing in San Francisco Bay, and then they cut to the entire ending is in Seattle. Like that pisses me off.
That was kind of weird cut, yeah.
And they're kind of like they're talking about like how it happened out in the Bay, and you're like, wait, what? But it's like really clearly Seattle, so it's very weird.
No, it's Pike's Market.
Anyways, okay, Rogue Nation, guys. I'll be fucking fast on this one too. 5 out of 5. It was fucking
5 out of 5. It's
was
one of my
amazing.
favorites.
You really like Rogue Nation that much? I don't remember Rogue Nation at all.
Dude, the motorcycle chase is the best
amazing.
motorcycle chase in any Mission Impossible.
All right, well, let's just say the things that are referenced. I can't spoil Fallout too much, but the things that in Fallout that references Rogue Nation, I was like, was that guy in Rogue Nation? I don't remember. I didn't remember anything from Rogue Nation. I just remember Rebecca Ferguson has a pretty nice face and a good body. But I don't remember the action sequences from Rogue Nation. I need to rewatch
You don't remember
Rogue
the
Nation.
underwater stunt?
I do remember that. I do remember,
Do you remember
that
the
sequence.
opera sequence when he's fighting the dude on the catwalk?
No.
And like all the snipers are aimed at the Archduke? No?
Not
Remember
really.
the car chase where Tom's driving backwards for reals with Simon Pegg in the car and they're smashing into shit? And
I want to
spinning around?
rewatch it. I want to rewatch it. I might have just gotten bored during the screening. I don't know. I thought it was the weakest of the.
Oh, it's a great ending too. It's not
of
even
the
like a
Bad
big
Robot
ending.
ones.
It's like a small ending. It's awesome.
Yeah, with the team all coming together and trapping the guy. It's a really cool ending.
No.
Yeah.
That's the only one I haven't seen in theaters.
The only problem with that movie is it has a great intro that's just cut short really fast. Like, you just did this huge stunt for what? It's like
They
Tom
had
pulls
no
a
ending to
ripcord and then just fucking it goes into the flame in the title sequence. It's like, what were you doing there?
I think they had no ending.
That was the least experience of the directors.
Oh, well, I love Christopher McQuarrie's like directing style in that movie. Everything's so clean and fluid. I could tell exactly what was happening the whole time.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch
He
it.
only done before that Jack Reacher, and then before that The Way of the Gun.
Way of the Gun I love. But,
Way of the Gun's amazing shootout at the end.
Yeah, he was a writer.
That's him.
For
All
Brian
right, cool.
Finger.
So we know about that. Now let's get to 6 so I can sign off and go hack some more mainframes.
But you haven't seen it.
I have not seen it.
Oh.
I hacked the mainframe tonight to hear the boys.
So I'm breaking precedent here.
Oh, God.
Mission Impossible Fallout, for me, is 6 out of 5 boys.
Oh, wow.
All right, well, for somebody who's obsessed with precedent, that's disturbing, but I'll assume you just mean 5.
I can explain it real quick in a little story. Just a little quick Ballard story. I had to piss.
When I was a baby boy Ballard.
Not the beast!
This is everything.
I was a baby boy Ballard just a few weeks ago watching Mission Impossible Fallout.
I grew up on this.
I grew up on this moment, and right before the last trailer, I got this urge that, oh shit, all that soda I just drank is gonna come out right now. This is a 2.5 hour movie. I checked real quick because, I'm looking at my phone right before, the movie starts.
Oh, fuck!
So I end up sitting there, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, the movie's about to start.
Oh.
I'm sure at the end of the first act, I can get a moment to go piss.
Ooh.
The movie starts.
Ooh.
End of the first act. Beginning of second act. End of second act. Beginning of third act. It didn't matter where I was in this movie. I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. It was so good, and it had me from the beginning to the end. It had me. I forgot I needed a piss.
I'm the man.
Did you say it had you at hello?
Just shut up. You had me at hello. You had me at hello.
I will give it 5 out of 5.
Wow.
Cool boys.
Wow.
I think it is the best Mission Impossible movie.
It is absolutely the best.
Is it Mission Impossible-y?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the most Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
And even Christopher McQuarrie said that he practically started making this movie with no script. He had pretty much an Act 1 and Act 3, had no Act 2. He built the Act 2 completely around shooting. He didn't even know locations. They said, where do you want to shoot this? He said, I don't know. You find me a location. I'll write a scene. Then they went and found locations and wrote scenes. They were constantly building this movie. The fact that Tom broke his ankle actually was a good thing because then they went into editing and were able to actually work on the film for weeks at a time before deciding to go back and actually go shoot again while they had Tom, resting up and healing. It was this perfect storm. And he made what ended up being this perfect film because he had no reshoots. He said literally they did pickups on 3% of the film, and that's it. The whole movie was shot in the can pretty much from the get-go.
And they had to cut action.
They had to even cut action, yeah.
Well, cool. I've successfully hacked you guys tonight, and I know you guys both loved it, and so I will be seeing it shortly.
Can't wait for your opinion.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go, let you guys get 6 episodes without me, so I had to hack tonight. Had to hack in.
You hacked us. All right, buddy.
Bing Rain steps and shit and goes, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Johnny, can you play that audio back?
Johnny.
Shit. Yes, it is.
Shit.
Is it kangaroo shit?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
That's right. Yeah, you guys have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a successful hack, Cool Boy Nation. That rabbit's foot is deep up my ass, and the chimera is in my fucking throat. Take that, Russian nuke. Take that indeed. Oh, goddamn, my dick is so engorged.
Okay, let's get more into Fallout now. So, Felk, starting at the beginning of this situation, I want to find out how you saw it. Did you see it in IMAX or just regular?
I saw it in Dolby Atmos.
Oh, okay. So I got 26% more cruise.
Oh, good for you.
Dolby Atmos was 235, the entire movie. But it was projected with lasers.
So mine was actually IMAX film, the full, top to bottom IMAX.
But was it film or was it digital IMAX?
I think it's film, and it's downtown San Francisco. It's the AMC. And it was pretty much the stunts you would think it was. It was the Halo jump, the Paris car chase, if I recall. It's been 2 weeks. The London rooftop foot chase and the Kashmir helicopter chase. I think those were all IMAX, and that was it.
Get ready for more action.
Suit up.
More impossible missions.
I'm sorry, what?
And up to 26% more picture. Only in IMAX.
You in or out?
Mission Impossible Fallout. Experience it in IMAX. Rated PG-13.
Did you like Ethan's stunts that were in IMAX? Like the Halo jump? Did you like that?
I mean, I don't know how much of it was green screen and how much of it was Ethan Hunt.
It was all real, but they digitally mapped out Dubai and then fucking put Paris underneath it, and it looked weird. I'm not sure Henry jumped.
Yeah.
But because I'm pretty sure that was a stunt double. But that was a real Halo jump with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
So it almost felt like, what was the point of it being a Halo jump if you're just going to digitally take out what's below him?
I don't know. I mean, you could have done that on a green screen and I wouldn't have known.
It was tight, though, when the fucking lightning bolt struck and it hit Henry Cavill and almost Tom Cruise, and then your like audio went out and you're just falling.
That was
into
cool.
Paris.
That was a cool scene.
Tense as fuck. It was great. The Paris car chase, I fucking loved it. I loved the what if beginning we got. You know, that was
the only thing. That was the only flaw, was there was too much like imagined shit. Like the movie opens with a dream sequence, and then there's scenes of him like picturing how it could go. I thought there was a little too much like this isn't really happening in the movie. But other than that, it was pretty much flawless.
Did you know that dream sequence was actually filmed at this thing called like Midgard Sound or some shit? And Midgard Sound is a helicopter ride away from this thing called Lake Wanaka. Did you fucking remember that by any chance? Lake Wanaka is mentioned in Mission Impossible 3 when he's at the party in the beginning and he's listening to his wife talk to her friends.
She goes and gets on the chopper that takes off from the lake. What was the name of that lake?
Wakanada, Wakanda.
Lake Wanaka. Wanaka.
Thank you. He heard that? How did he hear that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's from Mission Impossible 3. And so it's like a little, it's not an Easter egg, but it's a great accidental reference. So they actually took off from Lake Wanaka to get to Milford Sound to film the dream sequence.
No, I did not know that.
Pretty cool. I liked it. I thought it was a cool callback. So there's only 2 callbacks really in the movie that Christopher McQuarrie actually put into the film. The rest are all by chance, by coincidence. The 2 were the book with the tape reel in it, the beginning when he gets his mission. That's a callback to the TV show, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And White Widow being Max's daughter, which is referenced when she's doing her speech. And she talks about her mom, and then she says Max.
Or is it Maxine?
I don't have to tell you what a comfort anonymity can be in my profession. It's like a warm blanket.
The rest of the shit that happens in the movie that people are claiming are like callbacks or Easter eggs of callbacks, they were all not intentional. So stuff like the fake broadcast, that's a lot like the beginning of Mission Impossible when they have like Dimitri or whatever. That's very similar, but that's not on purpose. That's an accident. The fake hospital.
It also implies that Wolf Blitzer is currently on a credible news source to begin with, and he's not.
Well, okay, that being said, they also did a fake hospital, and Mission Impossible 2 did the fake hospital scene where whatever it was, or Dimitri again, or was it all the Russians named Dimitri? I can't remember. But like,
actually, isn't Dimitri Tom Cruise's name in Mission Impossible 2?
It seems we have a problem, Dimitri.
You keep calling me Dimitri. You really shouldn't.
You are not Dimitri.
Oh, that's right. That's Ethan's Dimitri. Yes. Okay, whatever. That Russian guy, the Russian scientist, he's in a hospital, right? And it's a whole face mask reveal. So it's multiple times we get face mask reveal. We get the Russian dude that's played by Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 1 face reveal, and it's like Tom Cruise in the beginning. And then in second act, you get the face reveal from the Russian scientist being Tom Cruise again. And he's tricking Brendan Gleeson's character. The other one was Villain Fooled by a Mask. That also happens in this movie, but it's not on purpose, a direct callback to Mission Impossible 1 when he fools Claire with John Voight's mask.
Yeah.
And he pulls it back. That's the same thing, except this time, who gets it? Benji gets it.
Yeah, Simon Pegg.
That's been 3 films in the making, Felk. 3 films in the making.
That actually got me. That actually surprised me. I did not expect that to be a twist, and it was neat.
I loved that also Henry Cavill drops the F-bomb in that scene. He's like, you always make it so fucking complicated, which is like almost a great reference to the movie.
I like that it was a callback to the Halloween line. That's when he realizes that Henry Cavill realizes that he's been had. He's like, IMF, it's Halloween. Grown men wearing masks, and he realizes
grown men wearing Halloween masks.
Because masks work, Ballard. That's the point. Their methods are good.
The last callback that I recall also was the free climbing at the end. A lot of people are saying that's a callback to Mission Impossible 2. I say that's a stretch.
Well, I mean, as much as like the fact that Tom Cruise runs in this movie is a callback to all the other times he's run. Like,
and far and away.
He can run, he can climb. Those are his superpowers.
Right.
And they use them to this movie. I mean, the villain of this movie is also the villain of the previous movie, so it's like...
Well, yes and no, right?
He's not really the villain. Henry Cavill's the villain. We just don't know that.
Yeah, Henry Cavill's more of the villain of this film, which is great, by the way. I loved it.
He's excellent.
He was fantastic in this movie. He's a wonderful actor. He is a pleasure to watch. He even had some bad action faces when there's like moments when he's shooting, and if you like just catch frames of him, he's just doing this like weird O face, and you're just like, what? But like, I love it. I love the weird O face.
You know what I'm talking about.
Even the haters of Man of Steel and the other films have to acknowledge at this point, it's not his fault. He's a good actor. He could even be a good Superman. He could be a good James Bond. He can be a good evil James Bond. And he got the unfortunate Batman v Superman stick.
He did. He drew the wrong cards, unfortunately, in that situation. And I hope he doesn't get, let go from DC so they can boot Superman. But I love him as Superman. I think he's fantastic. So we're talking obviously about August Walker, who's introduced to this movie. He's the Hammer. He's the CIA agent, special activities operative. And he's now, being represented by the new CIA director, Erica Sloan, played by Angela Bassett, who replaced Alan Hunley, who's Alec Baldwin's character from the last movie, as that was literally how the last movie ended, is that he stopped being the CIA director himself and became the secretary of Mission Impossible, whatever the fuck that means exactly.
IMF, Impossible Mission Force.
That's it. That's what it means.
Actually, the only time anyone's ever said Mission Impossible in the Mission Impossible film series is Anthony Hopkins in Mission Impossible 2.
You mean it'll be difficult?
Very.
Well, this is not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's Mission Impossible. Difficult should be a walk in the park for you.
This is a good line, really.
It's a great line. So since we're talking about August Walker, Henry Cavill, all that shit, Falcon, we mentioned Justice League, we have to bring up now the mustache. Did you like the mustache?
If he didn't have the mustache, the movie would have been fine, too.
I love the mustache. I love the mustache is what is almost gives him away as a villain early on. He is the twirly mustache villain.
Do you love that mustache knowing that it ruined Justice League?
The mustache that ruined Justice League, it was worth it for this 6 out of 5 fucking boy movie. Because Justice League, I don't even think if Justice League did the reshoots with no mustache, I don't think it would have been better. Because apparently on the Empire podcast, it was mentioned by Christopher Quarry that
they tried
everything to accommodate Justice League. Justice League was willing to do it. Apparently, it was going to be a $3 million budget that Warner Brothers was going to be willing to cover and pay for the $3 million that would require to have Henry Cavill's mustache filled in for the Mission Impossible film. Paramount stepped in, the execs up at the very top, and were just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? No. He's not shaving his mustache. No. So that's what happened.
Well, digitally, it's a lot easier to add a mustache than it is to remove a mustache. What's the point?
It sounds like Paramount executives were at least to some extent trying to be dicks. And it seems like the filmmakers were at least trying to salvage the films, the two films together. But the mustache fucked Justice League over, whatever. It was great in this movie, and he looked fantastic with it. He looked so good with it.
When Baby Boy Ballard walked into the theater 3 weeks ago, did you know Henry Cavill was going to be the villain of this movie, or did it surprise you?
I think the marketing materials practically threw it away.
I mean, they showed him being chased by Tom in the fucking helicopter.
And he's shooting back at Tom Cruise, so I imagine he was the villain.
Yeah.
I always wondered if it was going to be more of villain by, he's chasing Tom because Tom's on the run again. And then by the end of the film, they're both friends. I didn't realize it was going to be a big, he's actually twisting his mustache type of villain.
Yeah.
Until he handed Angela Bassett a non-broken phone. When he handed her a perfectly fine phone, when we saw that the phone that, quote-unquote, was Ethan's phone was broken, it made it very clear to me right then and there that he was the villain. I mean, they flat out tell you, I think, in the second act that he's the villain.
Yeah.
So it's not a movie that hides it.
It really doesn't, and it didn't surprise me too much when, like, I thought the big reveal was him, like, acting to the villain of the last movie, like, hey, man, we were on the same team. But, like, at that point, I was already like, yeah, he's lying to set up Ethan. So,
yeah.
Let's put it this way. If he had been a good guy, the mustache would have been all wrong.
I still would have loved it. It was very Selleck. I could have gone either way with the mustache. He played, obviously, the character, the real John Lark, not the fake John Lark, which was, part of the
Oh, is he really John Lark? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's the real John Lark. Yeah, he's the real John Lark. And he worked with the Apostles, which were the remnants of the Syndicate. When I was listening to the movie in the very beginning, during the mission brief, you hear John Lark's voice. And I could have sworn it was Henry Cavill's voice with a British accent. So I almost knew then that he was the villain, but as I heard in the Empire podcast, they actually hired a British actor to play that role. So I'm not sure if they're being cheeky or not. I still think it might have been Henry Cavill's voice. I think so, at least. But I mean, let's talk about the nitty gritty about Henry Cavill. That fucking bathroom fight was awesome.
It was. And I see you're mentioning a movie called True Lies. Is that a...
Yes, the notes do show True Lies.
Is anyone famous in that movie? I don't think I've seen it.
You don't see... What? You should see True Lies. It's really good.
Yeah, cooled off.
So, Falk, which is better, True Lies or MI6? Which is the better bathroom fight?
Here's the thing. True Lies is possibly the best movie right now, currently not available on Blu-ray. The reason why I mentioned that discrepancy,
my mom's favorite movie, by the way,
because even on DVD, that's cute. That's a good choice, actually. Not really a mom movie.
She loves it.
Is that movie has a lot of very visible, not Arnold stuntman. And
wait, does it?
Even in the bathroom fight, it's just like him, like, and it's like, it's clearly not him. It's clearly not Arnold.
I see. I get sucked into the magic sometimes, and I miss things like that.
He was 48, yeah, okay. He falls off the horse and slams his back into the roof of that building. Of course, a 48-year-old millionaire is not going to fucking do that. That's a stuntman. But there's shots there's shots in that movie in the opening chase where he's like running and he just kind of stumbles when the dogs are chasing him. It's not Arnold. He wouldn't even do like I stumble in the woods a little bit. He wouldn't even do faking punches and faking getting punched in a bathroom fight. And you know who absolutely faked every punch and every slam into a wall? Tom Cruise.
He absolutely did. So are you taking the MI6 bathroom fight over the True Lies bathroom fight?
Okay. I don't think you get the MI6 one without True Lies because I feel like there was inspiration there. But
sure,
ultimately, as a executed sequence, yeah, Mission Impossible did it better because if there ever is a high def, I think it was streaming on Netflix and it was from the like 1K master that they used for the fucking DVD. There's never been a true, like, I guess 1K would still be 1080p. It was less than 1080p. If you ever fucking were able to watch True Lies at like good quality, you would be shocked by, and this is just me watching an upscale DVD, carefully like noticing it. You'd be shocked by how little of that fight is actually portrayed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And
probably the CGI wouldn't hold up either. You're right.
I don't think there's actually CGI in
the Harrier sequence.
That's not CGI. That's matting a life-size Harrier on a crane over real shots. Nothing's computer generated.
I thought the Harrier was done like on a crane, but like done like on like a section of a fake building that they put onto a sound stage.
That's not CGI. It's a real.
But they still built the CGI around it and like removed and added the exhaust and all that stuff, and removed the crane and like added buildings in the environment.
That's like erasing things digitally. I don't know if that's really to me counts as like true CGI.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking, and like, okay, I'm not saying Independence Day. At least I'm not saying like that. Yeah, I agree that like he definitely took live action elements and then digitally like enhanced them and composited them. That's how I see it.
That
I don't see it
by the
like
way,
Independence Day where they full on did like a Harrier digital model,
Yeah.
and then like just, shot it in a fake environment.
And that end, that in the Harrier, that's all Arnold. No stuntman there. Why? Because he's sitting down the entire action sequence.
You're fired.
In a nice, comfy chair.
He looks great too. He looks amazing doing it.
But anytime he's physically doing shit, there's shots. I swear to God, he's just running, and it's a stuntman. And like, so it's an apt to compare True Lies, not just that one scene, but as a whole, really, to MI6, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think he was 47-ish, 47.
Depending on his birthday, right?
Yeah, so Arnold was 47 making that movie, and Tom is how old making Mission Impossible?
He's like 60.
No. He is 56. And Tom ran like a motherfucker. He took punches like a motherfucker. He climbs walls like a motherfucker. And yeah, I mean, in this day and age, Hugh Jackman's face can be entirely CG over a stuntman for close-up shots of action sequences
for driving.
Yeah, just for driving in Logan. But Tom makes a point of like, this is really me. I'll break my motherfucking ankle just to prove this is me.
Yeah. And by the way, the trailer shot they show of him breaking the ankle
is in the movie.
Is not the shot in the movie.
Oh, is it not?
The shot in the movie is over the shoulder. You jump with him.
You still see him limping off camera.
That shot you see from Graham Norton.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of the many playback shots they showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a real him limping off with a broken ankle. They put that in the fucking movie too.
Yeah. And then like the next shot is like 6 months later with a healed ankle.
Well, see, I wondered about some of that too, because some of the stuff on the rooftop looked like he was still maybe struggling with the run, because once he got to the rooftop in that London chase, it felt like there was like he didn't have as much steam that he had earlier in the film. And I know that literally the film was shot, wildly like in order. So I mean, like, and without script at times. So I mean, he was probably healing when they were like, yeah, just do this run up here on the rooftop on this other half. We'll film another time, because it almost felt like the cloud cover even changed like dramatically, like
perhaps
different time of the year.
I mean, that could be just a week later though.
It was a 9-week break too, by the way. He fucking broke his ankle, and then they were able to figure out so much more of the filming, like I mentioned earlier, when they took a 9-week break. Oh my God, awesome. Well, I love that shot in the movie. You go over his shoulder and you jump with him, and you do the jump with him. You it's so many times where you followed Tom coming at you head on, like the Halo jump. Same thing with the London chase right before he makes the rooftop jump. You follow him head on, and then the camera turns around and you follow him from behind, for a second in the rooftop chase, and then you jump with him. And the Halo, I think you follow behind him, and then you get in front of him again when you fall out. You fall first, and then he comes and he puts his face right in the camera. I love that shit.
All right.
It was awesome. Well, speaking of True Lies, Felk, I have another reference for you. The final fight in this entire movie was a practical stunt work for the most part on a cliffside in Norway at Pulpit Rock. And that was the cliffside fight, which practically mirrored the cliffhanger fucking fight at the end when it was even in a helicopter hanging off the edge.
Remember, shithead, keep your arms and legs in the vehicle. And all.
Oh, really? You guys value cliffhanger. You guys, both of you.
Both me and myself?
And Nolan value cliffhanger much more than I do. I think it's okay.
Ah! You're breaking my heart right now.
I don't know you anymore. You're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
Cliffhanger is technically fine.
It's technically fine. Dude, you're jumping all over Rennie Harlan's grave right now and like...
He's alive.
Stirring shit up. He's alive?
Yeah. Isn't he?
It's a miracle. Well, okay. Do you like MI6's cliffside fight more than cliffhangers?
Yeah, I do. I like burned Cavill.
See, I don't know. It was Stallone and Lithgow going at it.
Lithgow's a terrible villain. a physical fight between John Lithgow, the villain, and Sylvester Stallone, the hero?
Yes.
Come on. That's supposed to be a fucking threat?
Oh, well, if you saw Trinity in Dexter, you would think he's a threat.
Not physically.
Well, and by the way, Cliffhanger did come out way before Dexter, so.
And I liked Burn Cavill. I like that he got all the oil on his face, and there's that reveal where he turns and his face is all fucked up. Because I like when really pretty people get turned ugly. You listening, Nolan? You listening, Nolan?
Oh shit! Well, he felt like a Bond villain to me. I liked it.
Yes, but then he died, so he won't be back.
He won't be back. You know, Felk, he died so bad that they blood splatted him on the rock. They made sure you knew he died.
Yeah.
Like, they put digital blood splat all over the rock when his body hit.
The PG-13. This is a hard PG-13.
This is a PG-13 that is PG-13 because Tom knows the right people in Hollywood.
Yeah,
because this movie, for all intents and purposes, could have been R. It wasn't only because there was no squibs, even digital ones. And it wasn't R because they didn't drop too many F-bombs, and that's about it. Otherwise, they got a little bit more money because they got everybody coming. So I loved it. So, Felk, do you remember we mentioned at Top Buns? I think it was Top Buns we talked about this. Did you remember that the photo we were talking about where Tom Cruise apparently went to Christopher McQuarrie after Rogue Nation was like, I want to jump off of this. No. And then they we talked about this. So there was a photo.
Dude, you think I remember one line from an episode for like episode 30?
I do.
I don't. But please do.
I don't
please
remember
continue.
everything. But this is something that's been something I've been worried about and thinking about. Is what is this stunt? What's the stunt Tom's doing? What's the stunt? What's the photo? What was the photo? What did he see that he told McHugh he had to jump off of this? The photo was Pulpit Rock in Norway, and it was that whole cliff scene they devised. So that was the photo. That was what Tom needed to do. Well, speaking of the cliffhanger scene, we can't go any further without talking about Kashmir fucking helicopter chase. That was awesome. Real Tom, real helicopters, soaring and flying and acting so cool, shooting some b-ball outside of school. Okay. Tom looked great riding in that motorcycle. No, sorry, that helicopter.
I like that Tom, they established Ethan Hunt, because I was like, wait, does he just know how to fly helicopters too? And then he kind of establishes, not really. He was just like trying to figure it out as he flew. All right, altitude, power,
I like the part in the movie when Tom was running for the cargo and jumped on it and then climbed up the rope and then fell. I actually thought that I was falling when he fell. I got that like jump in my seat. No. And then I like the part when Tom got on the skis. And then I like the part when Tom threw everybody out of the helicopter to their deaths.
If you're doing an impersonation, you're not interrupting anyone right now, so it's not entirely accurate.
Yeah, and then I like the part when he was driving the helicopter and flying it, and then he was going in and out of the clouds, and then he was having to fight Henry Cavill shooting at him with the machine gun.
There's nowhere near a long enough pause between. I liked it when Tom, because it's like running.
Tune in to Batman and Beyond to see what we're talking about. Yeah. No, that was really cool. The helicopter shit was awesome. So remember, like Nolan mentioned that the movie was cut down and there were scenes cut out of it that we saw in the trailers. One of those sequences was this helicopter. He dipped it below the clouds in that sequence when he went down the clouds.
Yeah.
And like Henry Cavill's like looking for him. Well, apparently this was like kind of all cut together to make it look like that. And they did some digital work to have the helicopter come out of the clouds because that wasn't something they shot. What it was originally was the helicopter dipped below the clouds. When it got below the clouds, it hit a forest layer. It was in a roadway, and Tom was dodging cars before he almost hit that semi-truck where he pulled up and then pulled out of the clouds, at which point he got back into the chase with Henry Cavill. So that was a helicopter versus semi sequence in the trailer. I just loved
how fucked he was, because it's like the villain's in a different helicopter and he's on the ground and he has to work his ass off to get in one helicopter, and then he's talking to Simon Pegg and there's what's her name?
Luther.
No, the girl.
Ilsa.
No, the girl on his side with
Julia Mead.
Is that her character's name?
His ex-wife?
No,
Ilsa.
No, Ilsa's not the spy. Ilsa's her name?
Ilsa Faust.
Ilsa Faust is the dealer. The villain, right?
No, that's the White Widow.
Oh, you never found out her name?
No.
So wait, it's Rebecca Ferguson, okay? That's
Rebecca Ferguson, Ilsa Faust.
I had no idea that was okay. Well,
that's who you are. You're Ilsa Faust Felg.
Oh, that's better. Okay, I did not real. That's a weird name for a good character. All right, Ilsa. Yes, he's talking to Ilsa, and she's like, "Well, how the fuck are you getting the remote if he's in another helicopter and you've got like 8 minutes?" He's like, "I'm working on it." He says, "I'm working on it" several times. He seems like he had to really try in this movie.
Yeah, I think "I'm working on it" could have been honestly McHugh just being like, "I'm working on it. I don't know how he's gonna do it," because apparently he actually had no clue what to do, and like people were like asking him like, "What are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna crash him in like in front of another helicopter?" He goes, "Okay, I guess that's it." So then he ends up just doing that, right? He's like, "All right, we're just gonna crash the helicopters together. That's how it's gonna happen." By the way, that crash had me fucking on the edge of the seat because I was just thinking of that rotary blade just coming right into his fucking cockpit, and I was just like, "Oh, you don't want to hit that." Fucking scared the shit out of me.
He almost gets decapitated by a rotary blade in the first movie. Right after he jumps from the helicopter back onto the very big fast or whatever that train's called. The
top blade, yeah.
The top blade almost comes at him. So like he has a big problem with helicopter blades.
He does. Oh, fucking another callback, unintentional.
Maybe.
Well, anyways, the other shot that was cut out of the trailer, do you remember the fall he does in the trailer where he cuts the cable and he falls in the Grand Palais scene?
No.
That's a trailer shot where he's like looking down at him and he cuts the cable and he falls and swings. That's another sequence they cut out apparently. We're gonna see these on the Blu-ray. Apparently that's what Christopher McQuarrie was rumoring. So who knows? The original cut of the movie was 2 hours and 43 minutes, and they fucking cut it down to 2 hours and 20 minutes without credits. Crazy. But Ilsa Faust Felk is a great character. I love that she anchors this film into being the sequel to Rogue Nation.
Yeah,
and it's her story that makes this honestly a trilogy if we get Mission Impossible 7 with Christopher McQuarrie.
I guess.
Because her character would be the trilogy. She's like in her act 2 right now of a 3 act arc.
I still see it as a series that began with Mission Impossible 3 because
I really think it's a trilogy right now, starting with Rogue Nation, going into Fallout, and whatever 7 is. I mean, Solomon Lane is the villain of Rogue Nation.
I don't mind that.
He returns in Fallout, and he's alive. So he's coming into the 7th film alive. However they want to write it, they can write him dead in between, like he's assassinated in jail, or he's alive and another character to deal with Ethan Hunt until Ethan Hunt finally kills him.
Wait, whose character is still alive?
Solomon Lane, the prisoner that they have to break out.
Oh yeah, I guess he doesn't. I guess he doesn't die. Somebody's because Ilsa's whole thing was like, I gotta kill him, and then at the end she decides not to kill him and to save Benji instead.
Oh, I know, but like you almost thought Benji died then, right?
No, because I knew it was like that was her arc. Is that like because basically the movie starts with Ethan deciding like, hey, I'm gonna save my team member and friend rather than like definitely do what the mission says. And her mission's to kill Solomon, but she decides at the end, I'm gonna go ahead and risk not killing him. Although she pretty just killed him right afterwards in order to save Benji. So she has like her arc ends where Ethan's begins because she's kind of still new to this shit.
Yeah, she's not new to it. She's
new compared to Ethan because she's in her 30s and she's like 20 years younger than him.
She's an MI6 agent, but she's definitely new to the IMF world.
Yeah, and that in their way of doing things.
For sure.
MI6, James Bond, they just fucking kill people.
Dude, that's a good point. So she essentially could be working with a modern day Bond. You could connect this to the Bond franchises in a way. Mm-hmm. If they ever had her, if any next Bond had Rebecca Ferguson come in as Ilsa Faust, that could totally tie this franchises. That would be amazing. It would never happen. But her character definitely ties this into Rogue Nation by simply Rebecca Ferguson's character Ilsa Faust being tied in with Sean Harris's Solomon Lane, who's a great villain. He plays such a great creepy villain. But Felk, you brought up a really good point. You talked about how in our prologue in practically Act 1, before the credits even roll, we have Luther played by Ving Rhames. He returns, but
I'm pretty fucking far from okay. He gets raped. He gets raped in Pulp Fiction.
You okay?
Nah, man. I'm pretty fucking far from okay.
But he almost dies being shot, right? And then Benji, Dunn, right? Simon Pegg, he almost dies being hung in Act 3.
Indeed.
Right? And he returns.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Alan Hunley, played by Alec Baldwin, who actually dies getting
Thank
stabbed in Act 2. And it was Alec's suggestion. He was like, hey, can you just have me save Ethan and then die in the process? And they were like, great, sure. You want to die? That's great for me as a screenwriter. McHugh's just all, do. We're going to write this death scene. Everything Alec Baldwin did in that movie apparently was Alec Baldwin's suggestion.
You little piggy. You better be there so I can tell you how horrible you are. That's on Tuesday, the 3rd.
He practically wrote his role in this movie.
Oh, really? No.
Well, I still find Ilsa Faust as to be one of the hottest people, and I'm glad she returned. But I'm surprised that Will Brandt did not return at all. Do you know the reason that Jeremy Renner did not return? The reason that they gave up in an interview was he's filming Avengers Infinity War. Well, Faust, we saw Avengers Infinity War.
Awesome.
Where was Hawkeye in Fallout? Where was Hawkeye? Where's Jeremy Renner? Is Jeremy Renner even alive? Felk doesn't give a shit, Cool Boy Nation, but I'm personally worried about where Jeremy Renner is. And why was he not in Mission Impossible Fallout? Because he was supposed to be filming Avengers Infinity War and he was in neither film. I really want to touch upon that fucking Paris car / motorcycle chase. That was really tense. The whole process of stealing Sean Harris's character of Solomon Lane was amazing. And I really thought that kind of sequence, that what if sequence, when you see Ethan almost kill a guy and then be forced to kill him, like I thought that was first watching that, I thought that was the real scene. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's why I think that's my least favorite thing actually in the movie, is because I don't like when I don't know if something's really happening or if it's just this how it might happen. I don't like that. Let me know if it's happening or it's really not happening.
Well, but okay, then how about this? As an action sequence, did you get into it once the real sequence started and you got to a point where, Sean Harris, Solomon Lane, he gets knocked into the river, right? And then Ethan's team pulls him out, put him in a boat, right? And then ride off, and then they put him in a car, at which point they get into a car chase.
Remember that?
At which point Ethan has to get onto a motorcycle, and it becomes a motorcycle chase throughout Paris.
Yeah, the motorcycle chase was awesome.
So yeah, the action was great, but you just didn't care for the set you up wrong in the beginning. No,
because none of that stuff happened, so it didn't really.
No, it did happen. The motorcycle chase happened.
No. Everything that didn't happen was kind of unnecessary.
Ethan having to take someone's life
because that happens.
Not being spoiled his identity of not being John Lark.
Yeah, because it happens in the real scenario, and then he just says, "Nah, fuck it. I'm not gonna kill this random hot lady cop."
Yeah, and he also definitely plays his hand almost regardless there. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, what was the point of the? Also, it was also the music in that whole sequence. I don't remember if it's plays in when it's not really happening, but when it is really happening, that is the fucking Dark Knight.
Totally.
Score like
the convoy
verbatim.
Scene.
Yeah, they didn't have Giacchino this time. It's some nobody. So it kind of felt like, although Giacchino's work has been kind of lax lately, frankly.
Yeah, I think the last thing I enjoyed of his, like truly enjoyed of his, other than Star Trek, I would say it would be the new Star Trek franchise. Would be maybe Spider-Man: Homecoming. I didn't mind that. It was not as lazy as some of his other stuff.
I thought that was very forgettable, as was Doctor Strange. But he's good at Mission Impossible.
Forgettable.
He's good at Mission Impossible.
Rogue One is horrible.
Rogue One, but didn't he do that in like a week and a half after they replaced Alexandre Desplat?
It doesn't matter. That's horrible. That's
but he had to do it
garbage.
quick. But that's sure, fair enough. He's good with the Mission Impossible theme, is all I'm saying.
Danny Elfman did a better job, and he didn't do a great job either for Justice League, but he did a better job than Giacchino did for Rogue One.
Danny Elfman's is a little too Danny Elfman-y. You know he
Really?
got.
I would say
you know he did that one really fast because
stock.
They fired De Palma fired Alan Silvestri because he was being because Alan Silvestri has done like the military score a lot. It's just like you're using your old material too much, and it's kind of like
James Newton Howard, rest in peace.
What? Yeah.
Him and James Newton Howard, rest in peace.
James Newton Howard is still alive.
It's sad.
Are you thinking of James Horner?
Yeah, that's it. James Horner.
Yeah.
James Horner. He had like the same shit over and over again.
Pretty much. There's the Avatar is almost entirely like pre-existing themes of his.
Yeah, it is. It's like shit from Titanic at times.
Yes.
It's amazing.
That song by Enya that he did with her is like near far, you're my avatar.
They're like song by Leona Lewis. And you're like, what is this fucking song? It sounds like Titanic. What the fuck is this?
Near.
Well, speaking of women, let's talk about the third woman in this movie, Julia Mead, and she returns.
And did not age super well.
And did you like that her character was all set up by Solomon Lane in the end? It was all Solomon still doing everything, pulling all the strings.
Okay, so there's a line in there that I actually kind of would have preferred if Rebecca Ferguson and Ethan Hunt. I'm mixing actress name with character name. You're not supposed to do that in film criticism, Ballard. Ilsa and Ethan, it kind of implies there's romantic chemistry there, which I mean, I don't know that you really needed that they needed to get together, but there is a line from Luther. He's like, hey, there's only one other woman he's ever cared about, and that's Michelle Monaghan.
She's a slut.
Do you remember when he straight up tells Sandy Newton's character he fucking loves her? In Mission Impossible 2?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They really wrote out Mission Impossible 2 out of this whole other franchise. There's barely a reference to that. I mean,
I'm not going to lose you. He actually says that.
Just stay alive! I'm not going to lose you!
Next movie, he lost her.
Even in the way an IMF is like set up, the way Anthony Hopkins does everything goes from like actual boardrooms and like legitimate offices and like what like a real like operation would look like this, and then like Mission Impossible 2 is like all of a sudden like slick ass fucking libraries and rich ass mansions. It's like super Michael Bay all of a sudden. I love it.
It's John
so
Woo, yeah.
Stupid. Well, something that we brought up was that Ethan has love interests. And then one is Julia Mead, and the other one's Ilsa Faust. I thought it was funny that when they like have that conversation and they're talking, and then like Julia's husband Patrick, played by Wes Bentley, comes up.
That was weird.
I was like, Wes Bentley, and I was like, awesome. And as soon as I saw him, I did not think he was a villain. I immediately thought like, you are just like amazing casting. You're just the husband that has always known that his wife is has this dark past, and here comes the shadow, and
He's
it's
so
Ethan.
fucking positive. It's weird.
I liked it, but he understood it. Like because it's clear that he's had this talk with her because he had to have, right? There's like no way that you would because she can't talk about a huge chunk of her life. It's like, what'd you do the last 10 years? Can't say. In super witness protection program.
I'm still not entirely sure what exactly happened to her, but whatever.
They mentioned that in 4 that she's in like a big time witness protection program because of her connection with Ethan.
I accepted the Rankow prison mission on one condition, that no one could know she was still alive.
So you had to fake your wife's death.
As long as we're together, she can never be safe.
And so that's why you don't see her again in 5, and then she's brought in at the end of 6.
Yeah, basically, it means that he's not usable as a spy because he's so vulnerable with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of her. Toss her.
But she's still pretty high. She's a doctor. It's not like she's that hiding. Her identity's changed.
Yeah, but she's also, if you think about mobile and, her identity's changed, but mobile and in like, foreign countries like that, like... She's not on radar anymore, if anything, She's kind of a little bit off the radar. But I liked her inclusion in the film. I like that they kind of brought her back. I like how they set her up to bring her back. It wasn't just like this complete third act, like out of nowhere moment. It still kind of hits you, but it's not like not earned. They definitely earned it with the dream sequence in the beginning.
Earned this.
it.
She's 42, and she looks older than that.
She does.
She looked too old to be with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, really.
Isn't that fucked up?
He was working towards Vanessa Kirby, the White Widow, apparently. That was something he wanted.
She's 27,
allegedly.
I think. Rebecca is 34. It's like, maybe you're 56, Tom. Start acting I don't know.
Rebecca is 34. That's amazing.
I know. I thought she was older. I don't like that she's
Wow.
younger than me. That's kind of upsetting.
One of my favorite things when Rebecca and Luther and Benji are all there when Tom's meeting Julia Mead or coming across Julia again and meeting Julia's husband Patrick, he ended up like being like kind of essentially like they were like, Ethan, we gotta go, and he's just like, it's a nuke, and he's just like, okay, and he bounced, and it's a shot. It's exactly like what I hate about Mission Impossible 3 when Ethan's running to pop songs through traffic. It's played for last. This one was played for last, where you're seeing it from Julia's perspective, and Ethan just sprinting away super fast out of frame, and my whole audience laughed, and I laughed,
Yeah.
and it made sense. We were like, "Oh yeah, what the fuck? That's the greatest thing." But her perspective, she's just seeing this guy just leaving at full speed. Like
Yeah.
what would you think? Like you're like, "Oh, something's bad," but he's on his move.
It's the only time I think we've ever seen Tom running from a wide shot that's locked off, like, because it's always following him, so it's
It is.
frantic. Like he's taking us on a cruise.
Yeah, it is a locked off shot. You're right.
It's
So
a
it is-
lock.
it's like-
Yeah, it's how weird it looks to just see him just like running away from the camera without the camera moving and following him.
I'm not sure if that's intentionally funny, but I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, I thought it was intentionally funny. There's comedy bits in this movie. When Cavill just knocked out the Asian guy hard with a briefcase, that got a laugh, and I was like, "That's intentional." Just like because Henry's just a brick wall. Because they didn't fucking use like boxes to hide the fact that like Tom is like a foot shorter than him. They let him be gigantic.
They did, and that was a real stunt guy they were fighting, so they were able to like actually throw their punches and not like have to pull them a little bit. They were able to have fun with that guy, and it was brutal on purpose, and it was brutal during filming, so it could show on screen. And Henry fucking cocks his arms in that scene. I mean, it's amazing. The whole scene's amazing.
He's still in Superman shape. I just want to throw a quick shout out to Michelle Monaghan. Used to be hot. And in Mission,
this is a big deal to you.
Mission Impossible, in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, she's got a nose ring and she's got glasses on, and she was so cute. And
Have you seen True Detective yet?
Is she in that?
Yeah, she's in the first season, and she gets fucked hardcore by Matthew McConaughey.
Does she do nudity?
Yes.
Huh, I'll have to look into that.
I think she even fucks Woody Harrelson's character. She's married to his character in the film or the show.
Dude. I don't know. She looks old in this movie. Maybe it's just because I was seeing it in the big screen, but she's naked in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang too.
She gets naked. You don't have to travel far for it. Well, yeah, shout out to Michelle Monaghan. Felk loves you. Felk, I have a quick question for you.
She's too old now. This
is a question I wish we could have asked Noli, but we'll have to get his opinion some other time. But Felk, I have a question to ask you before we wrap this all up.
The HIV got to him first.
What is the best Tom Cruise stunt in a Mission Impossible film now that we've seen 6?
I'd have to know, to give a firm answer, I'd have to know more about the making of procedure. Because like I said, for reasons I can't fully explain, I rewatched MI2 after Mission Impossible 6. And when he does that fucking jump from one rock to another, if he really doesn't have a safety wire,
he does. He does.
Okay.
And there's a net. There is a net below out of frame.
Hey, mister, see that sister? Don't you let that feel you?
So he wasn't really in any. There was nothing in that filming where he does the.
He's never in real danger. There's always somebody ready to take care of him somewhere.
Well, I mean, he broke his ankle, so he's in some danger.
But he was holding on to it. Well, he actually made the jump the way he was intended on film, which was awesome. Because he wasn't intended to actually make the actual cross. He was always intended to slam against the side of the building. There's padding there.
Yeah.
But what he wasn't intentional was the breaking of the ankle. He's never had a real serious issue with any of the stunts without being attached to a cable. If he had missed that jump and not broken his ankle, or broken his ankle and missed that jump and fallen, he had a cable to catch him.
No, I knew he had a cable. I just
always has a cable.
I mean, I'm still gonna say there are shots that are helicopter shots where it just seems like he's alone on a mountain in two.
I'm sure those had cables attached running to the top. And what they probably did is they had everybody climb away, and they were like, "All right, Tom, this is you for the shot."
Fuck, maybe the opening of Rogue Nation then, because at least he was, even though he was attached to an airplane, he was on the outside of an airplane when it took off. That's still pretty cool.
If he had let go, I don't know how much give the rope would have had, but think about that. At that speed and that kind of incline, if you let go, you could easily hit your head against the side of the plane and knock yourself out. I mean, that's a concussion possibly right there. And even even attached to a cable, you could still whack the fuck out of your head. He was not wearing a helmet, so that is a really dangerous stunt. You're absolutely right.
I mean, 2 is still the one where, I mean, I think the timing lines up that the divorce is happening with Nicole Kidman, and he was just like, I guess I'll die making Mission Impossible 2 for this Asian.
I think 2 has a little bit more insurance stepping in and saying no, or shoot this in a clever way because you're not getting away with this. Because the motorcycle chase in 2 is definitely Tom Cruise, but it's not as intense as what Tom Cruise is doing in Rogue Nation.
Oh, now he's just like, he's like, his kids are old enough to they're taken care of. He's like, now if I die, I die. Like it's not pussyfooting around it anymore.
Yeah. So you're gonna go with the Rogue Nation plane hold?
Yeah, or the mountain climbing in Mission Impossible 2. I just need to know more about how much actual danger he was in.
Tom Cruise does most of his own stunts, so he doesn't really need a stunt double. But we make good use of the other Tom Cruise. Harder.
No, you're wrong. Tommy did it all by himself, no wires.
He did it. So the Burj, I think, was probably the most realistic from shooting to screen, because I feel like the cable he had, well, he must have had a guide cable on it, right? And he doesn't have one on him when he's walking.
I mean, falling from the Burj Dubai is going to be no more or less lethal than falling from that rock cliff. Like, he had to have some kind of protection either way.
I think the Burj is just, it really freaks me out, because something about being at the top of a skyscraper freaks me out. I don't get afraid of heights and planes usually and shit like that, but like if I'm in a skyscraper oh man, I don't know what it is, it gives me goosebumps. So for me, that might be the one. If it's not that, I would say it's absolutely the helicopter shit in Fallout. That was really impressive for Tom Cruise. That was him doing that shit with no wires. That was him alone in a helicopter flying it with a camera attached to it at times, or maybe a cameraman in there. But like,
oh really?
That was Tom Cruise flying a helicopter.
I didn't know how much of that was just green screen.
No, that's really him. That's really him They really shot Tom Cruise flying this helicopter, because they went to New Zealand purposefully to film it there, because New Zealand was the only country allowing them to let Tom Cruise fly a helicopter over a national park where if he crashed, he's not going to kill anybody except himself. So New Zealand was like, we'll let you do it. Every other country said, no fucking way. Dubai, I think, was the only country that was like, absolutely, you can do a halo jump above us. Every other country said you can't do a halo jump. You can't use our planes to do a halo jump. So Dubai was down to do that. And New Zealand was down to let the helicopter chase sequence be filmed. And that's really Tom Cruise doing that helicopter shit. It really is. That's crazy. So for me, I really got on pins and needles and my feet hurt and I was sweating during the Burj Khalifa tower scroll that he does, the climbing of the windows with suction gloves that are battery operated and the power's falling out of him and he's running out of juice and he loses a glove and he's only got one glove to climb back. Like, that shit did freak me out and it had me nervous as fuck. But that helicopter shit was really intense too and awesome. Like, that was such a sick ass fucking action sequence to end the film with.
Yeah, it was really great.
Fight. And the way he just crashes it, like he just like throws the helicopter into another helicopter. It's like, what the fuck? Are you serious? This is amazing. So I don't know. I'll have to go with one of those two, and you're gonna go with Mission Impossible 2 and the plane hold in Rogue Nation.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, just honestly, he can do crazy stunts, but ultimately you can get a stunt man. You could digital do the face map. I think the best stunt thing we can see Tom do is run, and I do like that this movie has the best Tom run sequence.
Yeah, but I
with
still
jumps,
think
he runs and jumps.
I think MI3 might be the best run ever because he actually ran that long take and had to keep up the speed, yelling in Chinese. And he was clocked at 17, and I think that's probably his best. Like, we're looking at, like peak Tom at that point in running. Like, he was like, you got it. You have to fucking clock me on this. I've worked my whole life for this goddamn shit. I did feel like this movie Fallout, though, was a huge, like, everything Tom Cruise has ever done is built up to this moment.
Yeah, everything. It was the best. I mean, if it's not the best running, it's like as good as the best running, or almost best helicopter related thing. He's famous for being in a cockpit controlling an aerial vehicle, just not in the Mission Impossible thing. This movie outdid that.
Yeah, and I would even say that he was great acting wise in it. Like, he brought it for this film, and he had ranges of emotion.
Oh yeah.
It was a dramatic film at times, and it was an adult film, and it was a serious film, and I was happy that they didn't treat me like an idiot with this movie, and I didn't need to be like, told what Kashmir is and how important of an area that is in the entire world, and how much repercussions can exist nuclearly when shit goes down there between India and Pakistan. Like, I love that they were just like, we're going to Kashmir. I was just like, awesome. Fuck yeah. Oh, dude, that's great. 2 nukes in Kashmir. That's going to be fucking crazy.
No, they didn't,
and I loved
blow
the
up.
St. Paul Cathedral because it was in Paddington too. Hey, Felk, what's next for the Mission Impossible franchise? Do you think there is do you think there's stunts to be done? Do you think the movie would be almost ridiculous if it just tried to keep upping the ante in stunts? Do you think it needs to pare itself down?
Remember when Mission Impossible 4, which is called Mission Impossible, I can't remember now.
Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol was being marketed as just Ghost Protocol, with Mission Impossible really small, because they're like, maybe we spin off the franchise or not have Tom in all the Mission Impossible movies. Maybe Jeremy Renner can take over, or stop trying to make Jeremy Renner take over things. Nobody wants just Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner can be in the background. My point is, this movie is not just the best Mission Impossible movie. It's the most Tom Cruise movie ever made.
It is. You're absolutely right.
It is Tom Cruise the movie. This should just be called Tom Cruise 6, the final chapter, because Tom just made the worst Tom Cruise movie Tom Cruise has ever Tom Cruised, The Mummy, and now he makes the most and best Tom Cruise movie Tom has ever cruised. I think Tom just needs to retire or die, probably in a stunt for Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible 7 never comes out. They can't just Paul Walker it. There's no Tom Cruise brothers that can CGI his face on.
No.
So just the only way this works is Tom Cruise dies making the next one, and then that's it.
Sad. It's a sad ending.
And it's got to be like the first stunt, so that they don't try to fucking Frankenstein it, and they just say, okay, well, that movie never comes out.
Well, Felk, we should get into our quick Cool Boy ranking of all the films in the Mission Impossible franchise. So, would you like to go first, or should I?
I'll go first. Worst to best would be very easily Mission Impossible 2. I need to rewatch this to be sure, but then after Mission Impossible 2, I'm going to go ahead and say Ghost Protocol. Then I'm going to go ahead and say 3. Then I'm going to say Rogue Nation. Then I'm actually going to say Mission Impossible, because I really like the first one, even though once I figured out what was happening in it. And I'm going to say the best is Fallout.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say my number 6 is absolutely Mission Impossible 3. My number 5 is Mission Impossible.
Okay.
My number 4 is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Okay.
My number 3 is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
My number 2 is Mission Impossible 2.
Rewatch
and
it.
Mission Impossible Fallout is my number 1.
Rewatch 2. When's the last time you
I've
saw
watched 2. I watch it once a year. Are you kidding me? I love 2. I love 2. It's so dumb. 2 is the best Saturday fucking... I'm going to be lazy, and it's 11:30 a.m. on a Saturday, and I don't want to do nothing for the next 2 hours. I just want to watch some fucking Mission Impossible 2.
Dandy Newton's tits look great in that movie.
We've worked together for so long now. It's almost like, I don't know, it's kind of like we almost finish each other's sentences, kind of.
I mean, I don't think we've ever finished each other's sentences.
Cool Boy Nation, tell us what you thought about Mission Impossible Tom Cruise by emailing us at thecoolboyspodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to check out episode 35 of the Cool Boys Podcast, Top Buns, to hear more about Tom Cruise, the greatest person ever to have lived on planet Earth.
And our infatuation with him.
New episodes of Tom Cruise come out every Tuesday. Be sure to like and subscribe to Tom Cruise on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, and Facebook.
No, put Tom in all of those. Just put Tom into all of them on Tom's Day. Like and subscribe to us on
I got it.
Tom.
And please rate and review Tom as well. You can also donate to Tom Cruise on Patreon and receive additional content.
Go back and say it. Say new episodes come out every Tom's Day.
No, because we still need to have at least like some
No one
logic
cares.
in here.
They're not going to know.
You can also donate to Tom Cruise on Patreon and receive additional content like Tom Cruise After Dark and commentaries. It only costs to Tom Cruise, and you'll receive special access to content to Tom to Air. You can find Tom Cruise on Patreon at www.patreon.com/coolboyspodcast. I gotta give the URL.
/Tom Cruise.
hyphen Tom Cruise. Please check out our other great Tom Cruise with Tom Cruise and Beyond, a Tom Cruise podcast on Tom Cruise, Tom Cruise, and Patreon, where Tom Cruise has an uncensored discussion about Tom Cruise, the animated series, everything ranging from Tom Tips to Tom Nips, and all the Toms they have given us,
and all the Tom boners.
Thank you for listening. Stay cool, Tom Cruise Nation. Until next time, it's Byzies from Tom Cruise Felk.
And that's Byzies from Tom Cruise Ballard. I like that. We should do a real Tom and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast. We had a whole podcast dedicated to Tom and Cruise News Cruise.
Just gibberish?
Yes.
It's just gibberish with Tom Cruise in it. And also Byzies from Nolan, who wouldn't be here because he has Tom Cruise AIDS.
Aw, get better, big guy.
If you gotta have AIDS, that's the kind to have.
Gives you speed.
Yeah, you just run all the time and do dangerous stunts.
You are outstanding American boy. You've excelled in all things.
I pump while I dump. Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Oh, yeah. So cool.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Oh, yeah.
This episode of the Cool Boys Podcast was brought to you by... Noli will not be joining us this week.
Felky Claus, why? Why are you taking our Noli boy? Why?
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie and he thought it up quick.
Well, my sweet little Bal, there is a light on this Noli that won't light on one side. So I'm taking him to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix him up there, and then I'll bring him back here.
And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head and he got her a drink and he sent her to bed.
Get some
Cool
boys. So serious.